What's good, y'all? I'm here with Chase Adams, sophomore point guard at the University of Portland. How are we feeling, Chase?
Doing good. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So let's just get started. I know the first thing that I saw on your social media page, and the first thing that a lot of people may see is your Instagram bio or Twitter bio that says representing Christ through basketball. So obviously, God plays a big role in your life. Tell me how that relationship you have with faith plays hand in hand with your sport, and then just in general with your personal life.
First and foremost, none of the successes I've had, would be possible without him. So, just knowing that going into every competition or everything that I do as far as sports, gives me the confidence that I need to go in and compete at a high level every day.
Uh-huh. And I know sport and religion, those are two things that require self-discipline and control. So do you feel like that's the main reason why you were able to be so determined and focused at such a young age? I know you started playing at the age of 2.
Yeah, for sure. I think that just becoming extremely disciplined, like you said, that came with getting older. I think obviously when I was 2, I wasn't the most disciplined person when it came to sports. That was more so just my parents and my big brother instilling basketball into me. And then I realized that I was good at a young age, and I thought it was something that I could go far with, and I started to take it more serious. So yeah, I think just realizing how much hard work that you have to put in to actually be good kind of help with that discipline as well too, to want to stay on the top.
Right. And I feel like a factor that could have discouraged you from playing was your height. I know at 7th grade you were like 4'11", and even today one of the smallest on the court at 5'8". Did you ever let that get to your head?
No, I honestly, it's funny because it's the opposite for me. People always thought that me being small kind of discouraged me or discouraged some decisions that I made on the court with the ball and things like that. But honestly, just being smaller and being able to do what I can do against the people that are bigger and supposedly, so much better because they are bigger. It's like a compliment to be honest, to be able to go out there and still compete and do what I got to do at a high level at the size that I am.
Uh-huh. What advantages do you see being so small on the court?
I'm faster than almost everybody that I play. Speed kills. That's something that I've heard my whole life. That just being smaller, being able to fit into different little spaces that most people can't fit into, find those little holes and the gaps in the defense, and just being under people on the defensive end. People don't like me because I'm a pest.
Yeah. So, I mean, in 7th grade, you blew up over your mixtape, of course, with over 14 million views. How did that, play an impact on the trajectory of your career?
I think that was a starting point. That was like a coming out party for just like a name, just building it started my brand, started my name. I guess you could say kind of started me, but I was still Chase Adams before the videos and before basketball. Honestly, it just so happened that people started to notice me more at the size that I was doing the things that I was doing at that size, and then I continued to do it and just panned out.
Uh-huh. I know we were talking about like courage and discourage, and your Instagram handle or your social media handles is Chase Courage. So tell me why you chose that name in particular.
So my big brother, when I was in like around that time with the Balls Life videos and things like that, around 7th grade, my parents let me make an Instagram and a Twitter, but the catch was my brother had to be the person running it basically. So make sure I didn't post anything goofy,
right,
cussing, stuff like that, anything that would hurt my image, I guess. And he decided that because I wore the number 0, he was going to change the O in courage and make it a 0. And we both sat down and talked about the actual word courage and how courage is actually a great representation of me just because of like my size and all the things that I've been through just being from home, and how we have to persevere at it pretty much all the time. And courage was the word that he chose, and it just stuck. I haven't changed it since 2014, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, to go along with the perseverance, you are from Chicago, which is a tough city. I know my last guest, Kamisha Moxley, she's from Chicago as well. So we kind of talked about, how it shaped her. So how has it shaped you in a way that no other city could?
It's just an automatic toughness. It's an automatic grit. When it comes to being from Chicago, you look at things differently. I always tell people you have like a sixth sense. You're always on edge, kind of, in a good way. You just aware of your surroundings at all times. I think just being from Chicago just puts you in an advantage in anything, any aspect of life that you need to go through because it's almost nothing that you don't see being from there.
Yeah. I know sports itself is like pretty big in Chicago. So even though it is a tough city, it kind of connects the city in a way. So what is it about sports that you think are powerful enough to connect people in such a city filled of hardships?
Man, the funny part about it is I don't even think it's sports. I think it's just basketball. Everybody from Chicago has played basketball at some point. And if you haven't played basketball, you're connected to basketball. Basketball is just like this big tree that connects everybody in Chicago. And, it's just a basketball city. It's the best city in the world. We produce the best basketball players. We produce the best everything.
No, yeah, I was gonna bring up, NBA players from Chicago like D Rose, Wade, Michael Jordan, of course. So do any of those have a particular inspiration for you?
I mean, oh yeah, of course. And you just seeing people make it out and doing what you love doing, and you see them accomplish all the goals that they mean to accomplish. It just gives you a sense of knowing that you can do it too.
Yeah. Okay, so I have like this little segment. Normally it's called Facts or Cap, but I'm just gonna list some quotes from Rose, Wade, and MJ, and you can just let me know because you're all from Chicago, you all hoop. So if you resonate with it in any way or if it has like a particular impact on you. So the first one I have is from D Rose. He says, hard work isn't enough, you got to believe. So do you agree with that at all in any way?
Oh yeah, for sure. You definitely got to have confidence. I mean, you putting the work in and don't have any confidence, it's not gonna resonate.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is from Wade. He says, my job, my whole life, I've always had that kind of doubter. People have always doubted me, and I don't know how I would succeed without it. So I welcome it, and it gives me a challenge, and I will see if I can live up to my challenge.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one as well. I mean, anything, anything D Wade says is almost a fact.
For MJ, I got two. The first one is to be successful, you have to be selfish, or else you never achieve. Once you get to your highest level, then you have to be unselfish. Stay reachable, stay in touch, don't isolate.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely got to be selfish on the way up because there's so many people that are just gonna be looking for easy way outs, easy ways out with you. You're gonna have people that are in your life just for the roller coaster ride, and then once you're down, they're gonna disappear.
Right.
I think that's where he's going with that. But once you get to the top, you got to be ready to be unselfish, like you said. You got to be ready to give back. You got to be ready to help in any aspect as possible, any way possible.
Yeah. So the last one is learning's a gift, even when pain is your teacher.
Mm. Yeah, I could definitely agree with that one as well. I could relate to that one. Um, Pain has definitely been a big teacher for me. Just like you said, just being from Chicago, just seeing a lot of stuff, just seeing a lot of different things back at home, stuff happening in our family. Pain has definitely been more of a teacher than anything else. I mean, life is pain. There's so much pain in life, so that's that.
Right. Yeah. I know there's been a couple painful moments in your life that you've been slightly vocal about. So, I mean, if you're comfortable, just sharing, could you explain what those moments are for you and how you've learned from it?
Oh yeah, for sure. I left. I lost my brother at the age of 14. I lost some friends along the way. Um, I lost my grandparents, both my grandparents, this year during the COVID season, and I lost my other grandmother last year, right before right before I made my decision to come to Portland.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, pain is something that I'm very familiar with, but um, like I said, the way that I look at it now is it's life, and it's just you just got to use it as a teacher, and it just toughens you, I guess.
So, I mean, death in any form is very transformative for better or worse. So, did you see any shift in yourself and your mindset after, those moments of pain?
Um, I wouldn't say. Well, yeah, I definitely would say it was a shift in me. But it was basically more so people telling me that I acted different. I didn't really see it. I thought I was regular. But pain and death. It's like I said. It just teaches you how to cope with pretty much anything because that's the lowest of the low.
Right.
Um, it doesn't get any much lower than losing your bigger brother, your older brother, or losing your grandma or your grandpa. So you just anything else that happens bad is almost minimal.
Yeah. I mean, again, I know your brother's your Instagram profile picture. So, how do you strive to honor him, whether that be through basketball or just on a day-to-day basis?
I mean, that's just everything. Everything I do is for him. It's not even basketball. I think about him every day. I have him. He's on my heart at all times, literally and figuratively. My brother is my heart. So I mean, everything is for Drake.
Yeah. So I don't at that time you were in high school at Or Academy High School and y'all won state championships. You performed very well as a standout player. But then as you approached graduation, you decided to do a prep year at Link Year in Missouri. So what benefit did you see going to a prep school and not directly to a 4-year?
The prep school allowed me to be alone for the first time by myself, just away from home, away from family, and basically figure stuff out all by myself. I had to learn how to work by myself. I didn't have any trainers out there. I just had a ball on the rim. I had to figure out how I was gonna get better, every day by myself. I also was able to work on my faith there because it's a Christian prep.
Okay.
Learn how to dissect the Bible pretty well. Um, I don't know. The prep life was something that was needed in my opinion. I think I was ready to go play out of high school, but I don't think I was ready to attack the world outside of basketball without that prep.
Yeah. I mean, just speaking on basketball, like I know during that prep year, you averaged 16 points a game, and then you elevated your 3-point shooting over 45%, and you led the team to a national prep school invitation. So, but even though with those great stats, you weren't happy with the schools that were recruiting you, and you decommitted from, was it Towson?
Yeah, I decommitted from Towson just because I think I made the decision so quickly.
Yeah.
The offers that I had coming out of high school, I had 7 of them. I had 7 offers coming out of high school, and I was of course, grateful to have the offers, but I didn't think that they were the schools that I want to be at. So what people don't know is once you decide to go to prep school and you basically reclassify, you start over when it comes to offers and schools recruiting you because they recruit by the year.
Mhm.
So going into prep school, um, I had 0 offers because it restarts, and I was playing so well in front of all these different schools, and I wasn't getting the attention that I needed. So once that one school gave me the attention that I felt like I deserved, I kind of jumped at it, and just because of where it was at, I kind of jumped at it. But after talks with my family and my brothers, they just told me like, bro, you have a whole second half of a season that you haven't played yet, and basically just be patient, and that's what I did.
Yeah. So then talk to me about the recruiting process you experienced from the University of Portland.
So actually, I was playing a game in Missouri. We were playing a JUCO, and Terry Porter, my head coach now, who is an ex NBA vet,
Mhm.
um, NBA Hall of Fame, and everything like that. He was there to recruit another person off the opposing team, and I guess I just played so well against the other person that he actually, came up to me after the game and was asking for my information. But before he came up to me, I had already peeped him in the corner, and I was just gonna go up to him and shake his hand just because he was Terry Porter, not even because he was the head coach of Portland. but just because I knew his background in basketball history.
Yeah.
He actually told me, like, basically to slow down and I wanted to talk to me about actually recruiting me. And, you know, from that point on, it was just a great relationship from then on out. And it just so happened that, you know, the coach that I wanted, you know, checked every box. I wanted a coach that was black. I wanted a coach that played basketball and not even played basketball. Just so happened that he was a point guard and one of the best to do it at that position. So I thought it was no better fit than Portland when it came to having a coach like that.
Yeah. So how has he changed your perspective, you know, being a former NBA player?
Oh man, his demeanor is professional. Like he's teaching me how to be a pro, and he doesn't even, you know, do anything but act like himself. That's what's being around TP has done for me. Just, you know, learning how to carry yourself as a professional, as a as a as a father, as a strong black man, and just as a great person. You know, I love being around TP, whether it's just watching him talk or actually having him talk to me. He's just a great person to be around and a great coach as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's also another NBA great that's giving you recognition, Magic Johnson. I saw a clip from Twitter. So what was that like, getting praise from a Laker legend and NBA great?
Chase, this is the Magic Man saying, man, I heard you play that point guard position like me. Good luck to you, brother. I heard you a bad, bad man. You've been doing your thing. No look passes, shooting a jump shot, being the leader on the team. Keep doing your thing, man. I'm going to look for big things from you in college as well, okay? So good.
Man, that clip was crazy because my uncle was actually, what happened was my uncle was actually recording something with him, and, you know, just conversation came up that he was from Chicago and that he had a nephew that played basketball, and I guess Magic asked him, you know, what his name was, and he said it was Chase Adams, and the conversation went per my uncle, the conversation went that he had this was around the time that video came out. He had just seen the video, and so he was familiar with who I was, and he was just like, yeah, let me send him a video, get him some encouraging words, and he sent me that video, and I was just like, it was crazy.
Yeah, no, for real.
It doesn't get any much better than that.
Right. Not many people can say they got, you know, praise from Magic Johnson.
Right,
But for many who don't know, I know you personally know another Laker shooting guard, Taylor Horton-Tucker. You grew up with him. So tell me about that relationship and how he inspires you.
Taylor is my boy. We've been close since, I don't know how long, but it's been since like fourth grade, fifth grade, something like that. We've been playing against each other our whole life.
Yeah.
And we finally get the team up our junior year in high school for our last little AAU run, and it was just crazy how we just went through everybody that last little AAU month. And we've been close for so long that once he made it, it was almost like everybody that was around him made it too. It was just seeing his name get called on his draft night, watching him hug his mother, watching him hug his family, hug us. We were just so extremely happy for him. It's a blessing to just even be able to share that moment with him.
Yeah, that's so crazy to me. But to go along, you know, with this Laker trend, I can't go without mentioning Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. But, you know, him along with other greats, I feel like they always go down for something. In particular, for Kobe, I feel like it's, you know, his Mamba mentality. So what's one thing that you want to be remembered for on the court, and how do you think you're disrupting the game in a way that's different?
Just courage. I mean, we can go back with that. Just being able to go out there and fearlessly compete with anybody, you know, no matter their size. I think that's one thing that everybody's gonna remember me for. I know people like to say heart over height with me, but that's not mine. That's not nothing that I could coin. So I'm gonna go with courage for sure.
So I feel like, you know, athletes in general are always evolving. The game's always evolving. And on that same note, I know you're into music and clothes, which are like artistic outlets in a way. So would you consider basketball more of an art form or science form?
I mean, I think basketball is an art because everybody has their own way of, of attacking it. You know, art is being able to express yourself in many different ways. And that's what basketball is. You can go out there and just express yourself and be free. It's an outlet. That's what art really is. I mean,
Yeah.
most people use art as their outlet. I use basketball as my outlet, so why wouldn't it be art?
Yeah. And, I want to quote Kevin Garnett. He says, anything is possible. So I feel like with art, there's so much freedom to it. Yeah. And so to go with that, unstoppable mentality, like Garnett says, I know last year in 2019, you said in 5 years, you would see yourself in the league. So, now it's technically 4 years. Do you see yourself on the right path? And what are the things you're doing to, stay the course?
Yeah, staying the course and trusting the process is the only thing that I can control.
Yeah.
So I can control my work every day. I can control myself getting up and putting in the necessary hours, doing the necessary things that it takes to be a professional athlete.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that, like I said, all I could do is control the controllables, and right now, that's staying the course and trusting the process.
Right. And as some would say, God's plan, but
Mm-hmm.
for despite the odds, whatever that may be, some people might say the disadvantages of your height, the losses that you've experienced. So what do you think God is trying to have you learn about yourself throughout it all?
I mean, honestly, he's just building a soldier, a super tough soldier. At this point, it's almost nothing that could tear me down. I'm going at the way I look at life is it's just an uphill battle. You know, uh,
Mm-hmm.
things can't get things could get better. Can only go up. That's how it is for me. So.
Right. Yeah. And I know you said in an article, I don't think now there's anything I can't handle when it comes to grieving. So would you say you're immune to it in a way? And does it make you more or less distant when trying to connect and build relationships with others?
Yeah, I think I am a little hesitant on building new relationships just because of like so much that I've lost. But it's a process. I'm working on it. I'm working on myself when it comes to that for sure. But I mean, it's also a good thing though because like I said, it just builds you to a point where you don't think there's nothing that you can't handle. And that in my head is really nothing that I can't handle. I've been at my lowest. So um, I just the way I attack my everyday life at this point is, with a smile and with positivity because it can't get any negative than what it's been already.
Yeah. And then I want to mention another quote you said in an article that you try to be the glue of your family, as the perfect son, big brother, cousin. So does that get ever like overwhelming for you? Do you find yourself over pushing yourself in a way to be perfect in all aspects?
No, I don't think that it gets overwhelming just because I know what it takes to be that glue. I know that I can't get too high, I can't get too low. Um, I know that people depend on my energy, you know, throughout um, throughout my family. And with that being said, I kind of embrace that role of being the glue. I embrace any adversity that comes our way, and I take it on, and I make sure that I keep everybody level headed, and that's just a challenge that I've tasked myself with, and I'm okay with that for sure.
Yeah. I feel like those qualities also show on the court because you are a point guard and that's such a leadership position. So do you feel like basketball helped molded you into those leadership qualities, or was it like always innate?
I think it was always innate. My parents always talk about my leadership qualities since I was a kid. Just always one thing that we always prayed on in the mornings in our morning devotions is being a leader and not a follower. And I think it just resonated, just praying on it every day so many times. It eventually it started to show, and it became who I was, just a leader, just a natural born leader. And
Uh-huh.
that's just me. That's Chase.
Yeah. And I know I saw like a Instagram little clip that you posted one time. It was of Nipsey's tweet that said some people wasn't made for it. So I feel like that, just speaks volumes about what you represent. And I mean, there's really layers to it. We can talk about current events that's happening right now with this pandemic, your personal traumas, and you are a young Black man in America, experiencing the continued and heightened police brutality most recently. So as I mentioned, as we kind of talked about before, basketball has been a glue and outlet for you. So I was going to mention like a Nelson Mandela quote too, that he said, sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire, it has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. Sport can create hope where once there is despair. Sport is the game of lovers. So we've seen activism, through athletes from the NBA, MLB. I saw you post about voting, Black Lives Matter, different things about the pandemic. So why do you think it's important to use your platform to speak about those issues?
Well, one thing that I was having this conversation with my parents before, the one thing that that comes with having a platform is being able to use your voice. I always, my parents, we were talking, and I was telling them that I always wonder why God gave me such a big platform, out of nowhere. And one of those things was for one to use it to spread His word, spread His love, and then on top of that, use it to voice the opinion uh, of my own and voice what I believe in. And anything that I say on my Instagram or on my Twitter is solely what I believe in. It's not any views that someone swayed me to believe into or someone coerced me into believing. It's all me. I do my own research. I do my own reading. I watch my own videos. Like that's just me. That's another thing that God gave me a great ability to do is be able to be strong in my own opinion and my own beliefs. And I don't let anybody change who I am and what I think.
Right. Yeah. And so with everything, I know from the elections to civil unrest and COVID, overall lack of normalcy, how has that taken a toll on your mental health?
Mentally, I just, like I said, I looked at it as, this is another challenge. That's just how I look at life now. Adversity makes a man. I don't know if you've heard that quote before, but that's a quote that I've basically built my, whole persona over. I embrace any type of adversity that comes at me, and I just try to look at it in the face as if it's a man, and I attack it, every day. So when it comes to the whole negativity that's been around the world for these last couple months, you just try to turn it into a positive in any type of way. Like the whole COVID season, everybody was quarantined, and you see tweets and Instagram posts about people ready to go back outside. Well, I was happy to be inside with my family. My mom didn't have to go to work. My dad didn't have to go to work. So we had a full house of just us, full of love every day for 2 months straight. I was happy with that. I wasn't complaining at all. I couldn't tell you the last time I was in a house with my whole family all at one time. Nobody, had to leave at any time, any point throughout the day. We watched the most movies that we've ever watched as a family. I was fun to me. I had a great time with that. So I know just finding positivity and all of this negativity was my biggest goal.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, on the note of the pandemic that you were talking about, I know bringing it back to basketball, the team at University of Portland, you guys are back on the court. I know you were just granted access by the governor to finally play and practice. So talk to me about, what that process was like and how did it like take a toll on your team not being able to be on the court like these other teams?
Yeah, it was definitely hard because we had to go into practice, kind of knowing what we would do every day and that not be competing. We knew that we wouldn't compete. We knew that we would go into practice, basically do 5 on offensive drills, 5 on defensive drills, and go back to our room and be in class. It's kind of hard doing class when you're not able to play the sport that you love and the reason why you're doing school, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was tough for sure. But now that we're kind of back in action, that's in the past, and
Yeah.
not.
I've asked a couple athletes around, like, do you think the opening of sports is worth sacrificing the health and safety of players?
I think that the way that the way that these um, big time corporations have been doing it when it comes to sports, I think is pretty safe so far.
Yeah.
I think the NBA went, I can't remember how many months, but they didn't have any COVID cases, which was crazy. I think they're taking the necessary precautions. I know that the team doctors and the sports doctors are in contact every day, making sure that, everything is safe enough. I think that if it's really, I mean, they gave us the option if you want to do it and you don't have to, you get your year back. I mean, it's up to us solely. So I just love the game so much that I think it's worth it.
Yeah. So how do you stay motivated throughout? I know you're talking about being cooped up in the room, just on Zoom class. So how do you just stay motivated throughout these unprecedented times?
Just knowing that I get to go put that orange ball in that orange basket eventually sometime throughout my day, it motivates me, keeps me going.
Uh-huh. So then looking ahead into the season, what aspects of your game are you most trying to improve on?
Uh, Shoot, every aspect really. I'm not a complete player. I wish I was, but just perfecting every aspect of my craft is the most important key for me. Just getting better every day is also very important, and just making sure that we're all on the same page as a team is definitely a big goal of mine too.
Uh-huh. I mean, I know I was watching some highlight videos, and then in the comments, a lot of people were like, oh, I remember when he was 4'11" in 7th grade. I remember when he was a kid, blah, blah, blah. So how do you feel about being compared to your old self in a way, like being brought back down to that level?
I don't even think it's just being brought down to a level. I think it's just a sense of reminiscing, uh, dang, I kind of like some people kind of feel like they probably watched me grow up just because they've been seeing me in these videos and stuff for so long. Like just seeing me since 7th grade to now, you
Yeah.
can see the progression that's been made and the achievements that have happened over the years, and it's kind of a sense of like you're still doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So what are personal goals that you have set for yourself this season?
I just really want to win a conference championship and get to the tournament.
Yeah.
That's a team goal, but all my personal goals will probably be set if that happens. So that's
Right. You heard it here first. So then lastly, in February 2019, you captioned your Insta post, "It's crazy what basketball has done for my life, even crazier how I'm going to use basketball to change others' lives." So just talk to me about, the impact that you hope to have on others when it's all said and done.
that was just solely coming from uh, the voice that the Instagram and basketball platform has given me. Uh, just knowing that I could inspire others just by putting an orange ball in the orange basket, is comforting. It allows me to. It wakes me up in the morning and puts me to sleep at night. That I could be someone that someone else looks up to, even if they look down at in real life, probably. Um, but yeah, I'm just very happy with the ability to use my voice in a positive way, and people look at that as a type of comfort for them.
Right. All right. So I'll end it off with a little speed round. I got like 10 questions here. So number one, who's your top five hoopers of all time?
Top 5 of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kobe's my favorite. Kobe's my favorite player. Mike, of course, Michael Jordan. Magic, of course. I love D Rose, of
Yeah.
course, and LeBron. LeBron is, you can't not have LeBron in there.
Yeah. So number two, would you rather always lose the championship or never make the playoffs?
Mm. Do I gotta have a losing option? Is there any winning option in there?
No, you gotta choose.
I'd rather lose the championship. At least I got there.
Yeah, that's true. So, do you have any pregame rituals?
Pre-game rituals. No, I just listen to music. I always send up a prayer before I ask for. I never ask for wins or losses. I always ask for just safety on the court. Just have a great outcome.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, that's up to him. But I never ask for wins or losses. I don't think that's not fair.
Okay. So you talk about, you listen to music. What are the main songs you have in your rotation right now?
Songs I got a lot of variety of songs, but I'm either listening to Jay-Z,
Hmm.
listening to Young Thug, probably some Herb or Dirk, just because they from Chicago, they get me going.
Yeah.
Or
Um,
Lil Jon, doesn't matter.
Fashion too. I know. I see you dripped out on the gram. So where do you get that inspiration from?
My fashion just comes from being cozy, I guess. If that's what you want. I just like being comfortable. I really hate jeans, but I wear them sometimes. But I like wearing sweatpants. I wear them inside some sweatpants, big clothes. I just like being as comfortable as possible, and I like colors. I like to put on a lot of colors too.
Yeah. Who would you say is the drippiest NBA player right now?
Drippiest NBA player. Taylor. I go with Taylor.
A bit biased.
Yeah.
So I know in a Champ Sports little video from 2019, you said in Chicago, the first thing you look at is a person's feet. So what's your favorite shoes to hoop in and then also just to wear on the daily?
To wear on a daily is definitely ones. Any type of ones. I could rock some ones as long as they're not mids.
Right.
But my favorite shoes to hoop in are Kobe's and Kyrie's. Any type of Kobe, any type of Kyrie's. I'm good with those.
All right, cool. So would you rather only play in the first three quarters or only in the fourth?
Four. Let's close it. I'm closing.
Clutch. What would you say your overall 2K rating would be?
2K. You know what's crazy? I don't even play 2K.
What?
Madden a lot.
That's crazy. You're probably like the only hooper that I've met that doesn't play 2K.
Yeah, I don't play 2K at all. I think the game is. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Wow. That's crazy.
I don't like
So,
it.
all right. So if you could pick apart qualities of different NBA players to kind of form into, like the dream player, what would it be?
Let's see. I'm gonna take D-Rose speed and athleticism. Probably a Kobe mentality.
Hmm.
Chris Paul IQ mixed with a LeBron IQ. Ooh. I'm gonna keep my size just because I like being the little guy.
Yeah. All right, dope. So last one, would you rather go to dinner with your sports idol or play 1v1 with your sports idol?
Um, pick his brain.
Wait,
I'd
what?
rather eat with Kobe for sure. Why wouldn't I want to eat with Kobe?
Right. No, yeah. He would be dropping knowledge for sure.
A whole bunch of it.
All right. So then lastly, I always let my guests, put us on to anything it may be. I've had guests put us on to like music artists, clothing brands. So anything that you love, anything that may be low key that not many people may be knowing about, you can let us know now.
Let's see what we got. We got Robotic Minds clothing brand in Chicago. We got Leaders clothing brand in Chicago. We got Plus NYC, my boy. Let's see. We got VKPK coming up, Vic Patrick Harris clothing brand. It's on its way. It's not here yet, but it's on the way. It'll be one of the top when it's all said and done.
Okay, dope. Yeah, I'll link all those below. You can all check it out. But that is it for this episode of the podcast. I appreciate you, Chase, for joining. So yeah, the Instagram, I made a new Instagram for the podcast, so all content will be there. But yeah, just like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.